The bottom of Meru Volcano is one of the most spectacular places in the world.
Right beneath your feet, right now, as you sit there watching this video, the ground you trust with your life is hiding something. Molten rock, thousands of degrees hot, pressing against the crust of this planet like a fist pushing through a paper bag. Waiting, building pressure, getting angrier by the century. There are over 1,500 active volcanoes on Earth. That's just the ones we know about. Hundreds more sit on the ocean floor where nobody's watching, and every single one of them is connected to the same thing, a churning, boiling ocean of liquid rock buried miles beneath the surface. Now imagine all of them erupt at once. Not one volcano, not 10, every single one, simultaneously. From Mount Vesuvius to Yellowstone, from Mount Fuji to the volcanoes hiding beneath Antarctica. Every crack in this planet splitting open at the exact same moment. What happens? 2 words: everything dies. But the how, the step-by-step breakdown of exactly how the world ends, is more terrifying than you could possibly imagine. The first 60 seconds would be the loudest moment in human history. When a single volcano erupts, the sound can travel thousands of miles. When Krakatoa exploded in 1883, the blast was heard nearly 3,000 miles away. People on the other side of the planet heard it. One volcano. Now multiply that by 1,500, simultaneously. The combined sound wave would be beyond anything the human ear could process. It wouldn't just be loud, it would be lethal. People within 100 miles of any major eruption would be killed by the shockwave alone. Not the lava, not the ash, the sound. Eardrums wouldn't just burst, internal organs would rupture from the pressure wave passing through the body. Glass would shatter across entire continents. The atmosphere itself would ring like a bell struck by a hammer the size of the planet. And that's just the noise. Now, before I walk you through what happens in the first hour, and I promise you it gets 1,000 times worse, hit subscribe right now. We make videos like this every single week. Turn on notifications because you seriously don't want to miss what comes next. Let's keep going. Within the first 30 minutes, approximately 1 billion people would be in immediate danger. And I don't mean inconvenience, I mean dead or about to die. Lava flows would consume everything within miles of each eruption. But lava isn't the real killer, it's slow. You can outrun lava. What you can't outrun is a pyroclastic flow, a superheated avalanche of gas, ash and rock fragments, moving at over 400 miles per hour, at temperatures reaching 1,300 degrees Fahrenheit. It moves faster than a commercial airplane, and it vaporizes everything it touches. Skin, bone, steel, concrete, gone before your brain even registers what's happening. Dozens of cities near active volcanoes would simply cease to exist. Naples, Seattle, Tokyo, Mexico City, Auckland, Manila. Millions of people living in the shadow of volcanoes they've been told are dormant or managed or monitored. All those reassurances vanish in a wall of fire moving faster than thought. And then comes the ash. Not the soft grey powder you're picturing. Volcanic ash is made of pulverized rock and glass. Microscopic shards that slice through lung tissue like razors. Breathing it is like inhaling broken glass. Within hours, anyone within a few hundred miles of an eruption who doesn't have sealed shelter begins to suffocate. Slowly, painfully. Their lungs filling with one powder that hardens like wet cement inside their chest. Here's a question for you. Drop it in the comments. If every volcano erupted right now, how far do you think you'd have to run to survive? 100 miles? 1,000? Let us know. But here's the brutal truth. Distance might not save you either. Let me explain why. Within the first day, the sky disappears. 1,500 volcanoes pumping ash and sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere simultaneously would create a cloud so thick, so massive, that sunlight simply stops reaching the surface. Not reduced, not dimmed, blocked completely. This has happened before on a smaller scale. When Mount Tambora erupted in 1815, just one volcano, it caused the year without a summer. Temperatures dropped worldwide. Crops failed across Europe and North America. Famine killed tens of thousands. Frost appeared in July. One volcano did that. Now imagine all of them. Global temperatures wouldn't just drop a few degrees, they'd plummet. Within weeks, the planet would enter what scientists call a volcanic winter. Temperatures crashing by 15 to 25 degrees Celsius worldwide. Summer disappears permanently. The sun becomes a memory hidden behind a ceiling of ash that stretches from pole to pole. Crops die first. Every farm, every field, every greenhouse that depends on sunlight. The global food supply collapses within months. Grocery stores empty in weeks. Rationing begins, but there's nothing left to ration. Starvation sweeps across every continent. Not in developing nations first, everywhere, simultaneously. Because no country on Earth stockpiles enough food to survive years without sunlight. Oceans absorb the sulfur dioxide and turn acidic. Marine life begins dying in massive cascading extinctions. Coral reefs dissolve. Fish populations collapse. The ocean food chain, which feeds over 1 billion people, unravels from the bottom up. The seas don't just become empty, they become toxic. Freshwater goes next. Ash contaminates rivers, lakes, and reservoirs across every continent. Rainfall becomes acid rain, not the mild kind we talk about in environmental science class. Rain with a pH low enough to burn skin, kill vegetation, and poison any water source it touches. The water you need to survive becomes the water that kills you. Infrastructure crumbles. Ash is heavy. A few inches on a rooftop can collapse a house. A few feet can bring down industrial buildings. Power lines snap under the weight. Roads become impassable. Airports shut down permanently because volcanic ash destroys jet engines on contact. One grain of ash can melt inside a turbine and turn it to glass. Every plane on Earth is grounded. Every supply chain that depends on air freight is dead. Communication networks fail as satellites choke on debris in the upper atmosphere. GPS goes dark. Internet cables buried underground survive, but the servers and power stations feeding them don't. The world goes dark in every sense of the word. No light, no information, no connection. Humanity doesn't end in a flash. It ends in a slow suffocation. Cold, hungry, blind, alone. And here's the part that truly haunts scientists who study this. It's not impossible. We've had supervolcanic eruptions before. The Toba eruption 74,000 years ago nearly wiped out the entire human species. Scientists estimate the global population may have dropped to as few as 10,000 people. One eruption, one volcano, and humanity almost blinked out of existence forever. Yellowstone sits on a magma chamber large enough to fill the Grand Canyon 11 times over. If that single volcano erupted at full force, it would bury half of the United States under ash and trigger a global climate catastrophe lasting decades. That's just one. We live on a planet that is alive beneath our feet, breathing, shifting, building pressure in places we can't see and can barely monitor. We build our cities on top of it, raise our children on top of it, plan our futures on top of it, and we never think about what's underneath. Because thinking about it means accepting something terrifying. We're not in control. We never were. This planet tolerates us. And if it ever decided to shrug, all at once, all together, everything we've ever built, everything we've ever loved, everything we think matters, would disappear under a sky of ash and fire. Not in 1,000,000 years, not in 1,000, in days. And that is the real what if. If this one made the ground feel a little less solid beneath you, smash that like button right now. Share it with someone who thinks volcanoes are just cool mountains. Subscribe, hit the bell, and come back every week for more scenarios that will permanently change how you see this planet. See you in the next one.